Hi everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I am doing a flip through of Guest Holler's Junior Geography and Cultures curriculum, and I'll also give you my review as well. Okay, so as it says, it's literature-based, family-style curriculum with recipes, videos, art, activities, printables, music, exposure and more, and they recommend it for grades 1 through 6. They have several pages of introduction, explanation about how the curriculum works, how you can study each country. So again, it'll talk about a region rather than specific countries, although there are a couple of exceptions. And they explain why they do that. So to give children a better understanding as the world as a whole versus a handful of single countries. What I love about Beowulf, or I should say Guest Holler's curriculum, is that they have a buffet. So basically you get different activities to do, different videos you can watch, different books you can read throughout each week. And I love the fact that you can pick and choose what you want. So say if your child really loves watching videos, then you can concentrate more on that. If your children really like doing the hands-on crafts, then you can do that. And I just love the fact that she gives you so much variety. And again, because there is so much variety, that can be overwhelming. So then she'll explain to you how you can do a more bare bones version of it rather than try and squeeze everything in. They always give you a book and resource list, which I really appreciate. And I love the fact how you can tick whether you have the book, you're borrowing it from the library, it's an ebook and so on. And I also love the numbering system that they use. So she'll tell you what weeks the books are going to be used in and if they're going to be used multiple times. So if in this case, it'll say multiple weeks. So then you can decide whether or not you really do want that book, because with it being a literature-based curriculum, obviously, that means there are books that you'll need to get. If you can get them from the library, obviously, or you can get an ebook version or purchase them. I tended to purchase them. That's just purely because I didn't plan to necessarily use this curriculum in a whole year. So I thought it'd just be better. And also because with the library, you can only get them for a certain amount of time. And my library, it does not have many books like this. So just being completely honest, it's very, very small. And you just can't find them, even through the lending from other areas. It just doesn't work. So I prefer to buy them, but I don't always buy them used. I often buy them, I don't always buy them new. I often buy them used. And then obviously you can get them for cheaper. And that's how I tend to do a literature-based curriculum as much as possible. So if you want to have a quick look at what ones I purchased, you'll see here, and I think I did actually do a haul. I'll see if I can link the video if I did of what I actually purchased to go along with, or it might be my curriculum video. I'll link it anyway, whichever it is, and then you can see which books I decided to get. So I didn't go crazy. There's a whole section of books here that I just didn't pick. Sometimes I'll look to see if the books, particularly where it's kind of like a picture book, whether it's online somewhere that you can watch. But yes, I didn't go crazy. I got the ones mostly that were going to be used in multiple weeks. And she has such amazing selections and choices. And again, you'll get a resource list where you can tick off what extra items you'd like to choose to go along with. So here they all are: optional materials, optional reference books, and so on. She also gives you some movie suggestions as well to watch that will complement each topic. And finally, a list of tag-along books. So as you can see, it's very literature-based. But obviously, you don't have to have all these books in order to do the program. It's completely optional. Again, a list of supplies for each week. So particularly for when you're doing the cooking class Global Feast book, then she'll link it week by week for what ingredients and things you would need for those recipes. As you can see, here's a sample of some of the weeks of the crafts and ingredients you would need. So things that you would have around the house mostly, possibly not with some of the ingredients, but obviously you can decide whether you want to make that recipe or not. Okay, so let's look at a couple of the weeks. So we'll start off with week 1. So the topic for this is seasons, continents, oceans, climate, food around the world. It goes through a day 1 through 5 basis. Again, you can obviously tailor that. That's what we have done. Down the side, you've got your non-fiction books. It tells you what pages to read every day. And then it tells you to use the cooking class Global Feast book, and it tells you to read the introduction pages. If there are any fiction books for that week, they were not for this one. Optional reference books. books for younger tag-alongs, so that's great family style, so if you wanted to read that book with your younger children. And then there are 2 games that you can well, there's one game, I'm not sure what this one was, I can't remember, I think it was Printables, that you can use to help you with memorizing the world's countries. Then we've got our printable section, so it's already clickable, so you just click on it and print off any of those activities that you want to use. This is your video for this week. There's a workbook that you could use. This is something you would have to purchase. This is not part of the curriculum, but it's the complete book of maps and geography. She leaves it blank for you to schedule it if you are using that book. I did not decide to get that one. Not for any reason. There was nothing wrong with that. I just decided we didn't need it this year. And then she'll give you some additional activities. So there are some guest hollow printables here. There is an Ocean Zones colouring page, a mobile you can make, a sardine mobile, and then you can use Google Earth to look up some of these different places. We're still not done. There is a range of videos that you can watch. So things like Earth's rotation, seasons and the sun, TED-Ed, reasons for the seasons, and so on. Again, more printables. So longitude, latitude, a lap book you can do. There's a website you can visit, and then you can circle what book in addition if you wanted to add another read aloud or a independent reading book onto it, and when they were going to read it, and so on. So that's what a typical week looks like, and that is a lot of stuff. Tons. But again, buffet style, you pick what you like. If your children are really visual, concentrate on the videos, maybe do a couple of the printables, maybe with the lap book. If they prefer to do all the hands-on stuff, then you can crack open some of these seasons and paper mache activities and all that kind of thing. Get the paper mache out, make a sardine mobile. So there's so many different options. And then if they're just wanting to do the bare bones, then you probably just read, watch a couple of videos, and maybe do 1 or 2 of the printables. So that was what a typical week looks like. So we'll move on to week 15. So that topic is Southern Europe. We've got countries in this region: Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Monaco, Andorra, Malta, San Marino, and the Vatican City. And then again, we've got the different non-fiction books, what pages we're going to read, some optional reference books: Wildlife of the World, Wonders of the World and People and Places. A tag-along book for youngers, Walking Paris. Some games that you can play online, helping you to memorize the different countries. Some map printables. Again, the section if you want to purchase that workbook where you can put what pages that you'd like to do. Some activities. So we've got some recipes that you can try: a caprese salad, a Greek salad, and so on. Then there is a craft of make a paper gondola. You can look at Google Earth. For art, it's scratch and sketch travel. So you'll do the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Acropolis from that book. And then there is music, so you can look at some optional listening enjoyment for different songs for the different regions that you're looking at. Again, videos to watch, printables. So there's lap books that you can do. There's paper dolls, Spanish alphabet cards, colouring pages, more printables for the different countries, some websites to visit, and again, you can add on an additional read aloud or reading literature suggestion for your child. Now this is a 36 weeks curriculum. The 36 week though is a wrapping it up week, so we'll look at week 35. So we are on the Pacific. Areas we're covering, again, non-fiction books, fiction, optional reference books, tag along reading, workbook pages, printables, lots of activities, again, recipes. Oh, coconut bread, that sounds amazing. Music, videos, again, printables. Okay, so my opinion. So I'll talk about how we've used it so far. Because we're doing Dragon Academy, which is my curriculum unit study that I made based on the Wings of Fire books, we have some geography elements in there already. So I haven't been using it as a week by week schedule. I've just been picking out topics that were relevant to Dragon Academy. So for example, the Wings of Fire books too, there's a lot of ocean stuff in there. So we were doing the ocean unit week for that particular unit. That's how I've been using it, just dipping into it for certain topics. However, what I might do next year is, I know it says only up to 6, but I definitely think older children could use this just fine. I might do it in more of a week 1 and so on format. But what I did print off, so I printed off the lap books, I printed off any of the printable pages that they recommended that Guest Holly produced. We read books, we watched videos, listened to music, and then we had the recipe book. So that's basically how I've been using it, how we've been using it this year. There's a ton of stuff in here. You could see that as a con. It depends on your opinion. I think it's a pro because you can just really pick and hone in on what matters to you, what your children like. I don't have an issue with that. I'll just do a quick flip through while I'm talking so you can see some of the other pages. But it can look overwhelming because there's so much. But just remember, it's a buffet. And when you go to a buffet, you don't try to put a bit of everything on your plate. You would, break it down to what you like best. So I definitely think that that's completely doable. Again, with the books, there are tons of book suggestions. Just narrow it down to what you would like to do or to read, what your kids would like. See if there's anything online, see if your library has stuff. I, as I said, went for the multiple week books, and that's what I would recommend. If your budget's on the smaller side, to just go for the multiple week books and then see if you can get some of the rest from the library. But I think it is a fantastic way to do geography. It's really, really interesting. I love the different variety. I love how she has a bit of everything for everybody. So you've got your crafts, you've got your baking, you've got your videos, you've got your websites, you've got your printables, books. There's just so much to it. I think it is a fantastic curriculum, and I love the way she's presented it. I think it's very user-friendly, and we have used Guest Hollow before. I've used Beowulf Language Arts, which I absolutely loved. We have also used, or purchased, I should say, they're one of their science. We haven't used it yet, but we purchased it, and obviously we've got the geography and cultures curriculum. But although it says grades 1 through 6, and they do have another level, which is just geography and cultures for older children, I think you could at least get another year out of this one. If you have got younger children that you're trying to do family style with. But then they do have a high school level as well. And again, fantastic. Looks fantastic in terms of the resources that she's picked to go along with it. It's very creative. I love Guest Hollow's products for that reason. But I hope that was helpful for you. Oh, and it is very cheap as well, reasonable for the actual guide, and then you can do with it as you will. You might have some of the books already, particularly if you've homeschooled for a while. We had some of them. We had this one. We had this one. So you might have quite a few of them anyway in your shelf, on your shelf in your own homeschool library. But I definitely would recommend it, and we will definitely be doing more of it this year, as in 7th. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you soon.